Welcome back to my channel. So I'm Teche and today we're gonna speak about the Big Four. Great, so let's hop on to the video. Great. So I have been in Big Four for a few years now. I wouldn't say the exact number, but I've been around for quite some time. So if you're there and you're wondering now, how do I get into the Big Four? Then grab your sets and let's give it a go. So there are four. The name Big Four comes by because there are four accounting firms and they are quite huge. They are global. So I'm sure whichever country you are in, I'm sure you'd have one of the Big Fours there. So which are these companies? So the first one, we have PwC, we have Ernst & Young or EY, we have KPMG and Deloitte. So how do I get into this? The first way of, which is the most common, is people mainly get into Big Four through the graduate scheme. So for the graduate scheme, you are newly graduated or you're on your last year of schooling, or you just cleared your schooling and you're waiting for your graduation. Trust me, you're eligible to apply. So for a start, you go into their websites and then you apply for the GR roles, and then when you get successful, you can join one of the service lines within Big Four. Don't worry, we'll get through the service line and you'll know about it. Just wait on to the video. So if maybe I graduated a few years ago and or I missed out on the GR recruitment, then how do I get into the Big Four? You might be asking yourself this. So don't worry, there are many options. So the second option is through internship. You can easily apply for internship and then get into the Big Four. No matter your background, you can get into any of the service line. It's open whether you've done audit and an accounting certification, whether you've done a degree. It's basically open for anyone who wants to just get into Big Four and start on their career. So you can apply for internship. It's mostly a 3-month or a 6-month internship, and you're like, but this is only 3 months or 6 months, but I want to be in Big Four for years. Don't worry, we're getting there. So you've applied for internship and you're successful. Let me tell you, work hard during that internship period, because all the people I've seen interning in the 2 Big Four firms that I've worked with have actually been observed. Yeah. So they are currently permanent employees, and there are people who are still interning, and most probably they'll be absorbed. That's what I've seen happening here. So we've tackled the internship. We've tackled 2 ways of you getting into Big Four. So what is the third option? So you have 3 years experience, 2 years experience, so 1 year experience in a specific field, but you want to get into Big Four. Maybe you want to change your career to one of the service line in Big Four. Trust me, you're also eligible to join the Big Four. So just apply. So when you apply as an experienced hire, you actually come in and interview for that specific role. Maybe you're experienced in audit, but you want to apply into tech and you've done a few certifications. You easily get into the Big Four through that pathway. I know most people are worried, like, I'm experienced, I've applied for Big Four, but I have 5 years of experience, and I'm actually, the position I've been offered is a position where the people I'm working with have 3 years of experience. So actually don't worry, because there are double promotions. These are whereby you've worked and you've really performed well, and the company feels, or the business feels, you should be double promoted. So if you even find yourself surpassing the people you met at the same role you are with, it actually depends with how good you are at your work and how you network, so that you can probably be double promoted and you actually reach the level of people with the same experience as you. So basically, I've tackled 3 ways of how anyone can join the Big Four. So let me just tell you how I joined the Big Four. For my part, I joined through the graduate recruitment. The year was 2018. I had graduated in December of the previous year, and I actually wanted a job. So basically, I didn't know I wanted to get into Big Four or what. But anyway, so my sister comes and says, I have a friend who's in Big Four, and they've actually told me that they're hiring. So kindly go and check so and so's website and apply. There I am. I gas myself up. I apply for that specific role, but let me tell you, a girl suffered. So I did the aptitude test of that first firm that I applied to, but unfortunately, what happened? Let me tell you, I didn't get to pass. So this meant I'd have to wait for the other Big Four firms to recruit for years. So luck was on my side. A second one came on, and I actually applied, and I got past the aptitude stage, and I was so happy because I was seeing the door is actually half open, or let's say a quarter, because you pass the aptitude, and then you're told there are various interview stages you have to go through. So the first stage was it's usually around 4 or 5 stages depended on the company. So for this one that I got successful into, it had I'd say probably 4. So the first one was the aptitude test, then I got to do the group interview. Damn, let me tell you, it can be a bit brutal, because I remember you get into a room, you're given a topic, you don't know even anything about it, but you have to actually talk about it, right? So there you haven't even got to know the names of the people you are with in the group. You're just trying to catch everyone's name so fast, so that in case you are trying to talk about it or bring in a point, you can actually say, I'm trying to add on to so and so's point, and you actually be correct in mentioning their names, because the observers are there. The interview observers are usually there in the same room, and you try, it's like you're fighting with your peers to get the job. But anyway, I would say it's a good experience, because you actually know, you actually learn a lot more about teamwork, how you handle yourself with the group, and diversity, because the people are very different, but you have to actually speak your mind in a group and actually be seen. A girl was lucky past the group stage, and then now we moved to managers. I was a bit happy about that, because the first thing was, at the managers, you're given a topic you have to speak about, and they also ask about your experience, the normal HR way of interviewing. Tell me about yourselves. Can you work under pressure? Everyone says they can work under pressure, but let me tell you, the pressure is getting worse, or will get worse, when you start that role. People will even cry on your first few days, because it's a fast-paced kind of job. So after the managers, if you're successful, you go to the partners, and when you go to the partners, I wouldn't say the door is halfway open now. The door is 90% open. You just have a 90 versus the 10% of not getting the job. So I went to the 90% of, I'll get this job. I'm suited up. I went to the interview. There were open-ended questions. It's not like there's a manual of what they'll ask you. It's not like what they ask person A is the same thing they'd ask person B. Sometimes they build up on whatever you're telling them. Your partners. Anyway, I passed, and I got into my first Big Four role. Then I worked in that company for 3 years. Then after 3 years, sorry, someone just interrupted me. Anyway, I worked at that firm for 3 years. I got to build my skills, and then an opportunity presented itself, though still within the Big Four, and I got to move earlier this year to my second Big Four role. That it's actually not different from the work that I was doing previously. It's basically the same thing, but I would say a different seniority level. So that's my story of how I got into the Big Four. So let's speak about the different service lines that you can get into when you apply to your first Big Four role. So you can either get into audit, there's consulting. So consulting is very big, There's technology consulting, there's management consulting, and there's also deals advisory within consulting. Yeah. And if you're not getting into audit or consulting, then the third one is there's tax. You can get into tax and work with a team there as well. So trust me, there are a lot of opportunities within this service line. So if I say audit is very wide, There's the technology audit, there's the financial audit aspect. So it actually depends on what you feel would better fit your career goals, So feel free, go on their website, check whichever role you feel like you would fit into and the service line, read about it. All these Big Four firms have actually explained the different service lines, and you can be able to learn and match them with your skills and apply, and that's how you go into Big Four within your dream role. So we've come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe, call on your friends, let's grow my channel and make a girl happy. Bye bye. See you next time.